Hey, everybody. Hey, it
Hey,
would help if I wasn't overlaid by the Real Agents banner, Tara. They would be able to see us. But welcome, you guys, to Real Agents Podcast. It is Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are excited to be with you, right, Tara? We are so excited.
absolutely. We've been looking forward to it for the last week and a half.
Yes, yes. On the first and the third Monday, you guys.
Second and fourth.
Actually, it's the second and fourth. There we go, right there. Correction. On the second and fourth Monday, we're live. Today, we have two amazing guests that are going to be with us. I'm going to let Tara talk about our guests.
Okay, so as you guys might remember last week, we at the end we kind of were talking through some of the awards that one of our guests had in the background, and so this week, as you guys know, we were at Reach last week, and this week we've got Jonathan Dean, who was one of the Emerald Award winners, and he also got an award for engagement. And then we also have Mr. Rio Hernandez, and he also won an award, but he also was Rookie of the Year. So we thought it'd be great to have the two of them to join us today to talk to you guys and share a little bit about their experiences, the awards, some things that they've done to get those awards. And we know you guys would love to hear from them as well.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Great.
I'm
Doing great.
amazing.
Doing great.
Yes, yes. Real agents working with real clients, closing real deals. I mean, life is, so real for us. And I think that before I got into real estate, I really had a different perspective on it. I don't know about you guys, but when I would look and I would see a real estate agent, of course, they portrayed them on TV, right? With these nice purses, I guess for the men, nice suits and all that, and looking like they're walking down Hollywood and selling these $1 million homes. And you're like, oh, okay, real estate could be it for me. And then you jump into the business of real estate. Of course, not just based on that, but your love for helping people. And you find that it's definitely different. For me, I find that it's more relational. I find that it's definitely a lot more personal. I mean, you really are purchasing, like for many people, the largest purchase you'll ever
Yep.
make, in your life. And it's very relational, it's very matter of fact. I find myself over communicating, and I really just love what I'm able to do, and serving my clients. Like, what do you guys think about real estate and, kind of why you got in?
Go ahead, John.
Okay. So I mean, it's definitely not what I expected. I think I had that glossy view that most people do, that it's extremely flexible, it's easy money, it's not going to be challenging, and yeah, that you had to stay dressed up all the time and constantly portray this perfect, polished person, and I have not seen that as the case since I've been in the business.
Mm, yeah.
Right. So with me, it's kind of like the same thing with John. I mean, I kind of did this because, well, kind of taking a step back, I did this because I seen the real estate market, and well, the realtors. I've always noticed that they've made a large sum of money, but whenever I first got into it, that was not what I was expecting because the first 6 months I didn't make one deal, and
Right.
so it was pretty tough, getting into the business as far as starting off. But yeah, real estate is just it's something that you got to adapt to, and definitely, if you do the work, it does pay off.
Love it.
Yeah.
Adaptability, right, Tara?
Yeah. Adaptability is definitely key. I think, when I came into real estate, it was, as no surprise to anyone, it was very methodical. So I got into real estate really as a way to truly build generational wealth. And so, Jonathan, to the point that you mentioned, it definitely looked like, oh, this is going to be easy. You're looking at the people that maybe are in it, and you're seeing things on TV, Sharina, like what you had mentioned. And so it really is real work, right? Like real agents working with real people, closing real deals, like it's real money. And so I was a little more methodical on the approach, because you really are a small business owner. And I think sometimes that gets lost in translation. I think sometimes people may get into it thinking it's going to be a way to get fast money, quick,
Mhm.
and, yay, I can work whenever I want to. Um, I think the part that gets lost is you are a business owner. So it is going to require more focus. It's going to require more dedication. Um, Quite frankly, being an employee for me is easier, because you get up, you
Preach.
show up, you get up, you show
That's
up, and
good.
that's it. And with this, you really are hand carrying everything. You're all the things, you're all the parts, you're in all the
Mhm.
roles, of a business.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that what you just said about like the business approach of it all, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of agents, like when we jump into this field and this pool, I don't know how yours is set up in your different states, but when you finish school, I was not prepared to do real estate, and so you get your license and you're telling everyone you have your license, and you go 6 months, like you're saying, real with no deals. I'm like,
Right.
I don't have a standard operating procedure. I don't
Right.
have like a
Mhm.
business plan. I have no help. I could get a transaction coordinator. They're not paid until the close. Like,
Closing.
is my business really set up? But I'm waving my license saying, "Hey, I got a license." Like, what was your thing, you guys, when you first got your license? Like, how did you start to establish like different business principles to kind of help you, like, for your business to go forward? You know.
Right. So with me, one of the main things was like I was thinking that leads were going to come to me like automatically. Like I was thinking,
Mm,
oh, I got a real estate license, so people are going to want to buy from me. But that was
right.
not the case. And the way that I kind of went about going that way was like, no one doesn't really care that you are a real estate agent. They have to see what you provide. And
Yeah.
so whenever I really figured out what I could do in order to get these clients happy with purchasing their homes, that was just kind of like a snowball effect, and they were able to translate that into another to another lead, and then refer me out to another lead, refer me out to another lead, and that's kind of how I got the ball going in real estate.
Oh, I love
Yeah, I'd
that. You
say
thought you thought the leads was about to just call your phone.
I did, yeah, I was ready too. I was like, okay, I'm licensed today. When's this phone gonna ring? Yeah, I was like, when is it gonna ring? I'm ready. I'm ready to put on the Emirati suits and all that type of stuff. I was excited, but no, it was definitely a that's not how it went. Definitely
Yeah.
not how it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It,
would say for me, it was very similar to what you said, Sharina, where it was like this first 6 months was really slow. I was lucky. I had two deals that happened right away when I first got licensed. But after that, I was lost. I was like, I have no idea where clients are coming from. So I was doing open houses every single weekend.
Mhm.
yeah.
And that's where my first real client came from, was
Mm.
just by hosting those open houses. And then from there, I ended up splitting off from the team I was with, and I started buying online leads, and that's when things started to really shoot off.
Change for you. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, it really is. I do think that's one of the things that's also one of the most overlooked, aspects in getting in, because it is a hustle, right? Like every day, it's definitely, hey, you got to get out there, pick me, and you are going to get those leads. I mean, you have to go get them,
Hmm.
outside of your sphere. And so I think too, for me, I didn't realize, there I always say there's two things I didn't really realize. One, the fact that you are on the grind, like you are the product essentially. And then the second thing, and this is that time of year that I really start talking about it the most, and that is there's a 15.3% self-employment tax that
Ooh.
you're going to be charged at the end of the year on top of whatever tax bracket you fall in. And so
Hmm.
those two things for me, I was like, y'all should have started with that. You know what I mean? Like off the rip, you're going to need to go get your own business. Nothing's coming to you. And you're going to have a 15.3% self-employment tax, that's
Hmm.
charged to you. So set yourself up as an S corp
Yeah,
instead.
and that would have made it easier to like choose a brokerage like CIC. I love how all of us raise your hand if you are a real estate agent with Call It Closed. Guilty as charged. Yes, I would have gone to a brokerage like this, like you were saying, Tara, when you really add up the cost of like association fees and your dues and your marketing and
Mm-hmm.
all that you have to put out in anticipation for what's going to come in. A
Right.
100%, like, just makes sense. I was talking to Amy, who actually told me about CIC. I was with a 60/40. I didn't get leads. I was struggling at 60/40. And then I went to 80/20. Still, some of my money is being taken, yet
Yeah.
I'm helping the client. I'm helping the client 100% of the
Yeah.
time, but then splitting some of my income. So CIC like just made sense. Like when you
Mm-hmm.
guys jumped on board with CIC, what was going through your thoughts? Because I just needed to ensure that financially, like you said, Tara, for financial wealth, that if I'm working and I'm doing all these things and I'm paying for leads and I'm getting a client, I'm putting the signs up, I'm doing everything, 100% of my money, like, just makes sense. Like, what was it for you guys?
I'll say, like, when I actually shot a video about it today, trying to give an explanation as to why I left the brokerage I was at. So I was at Remax for 7.5 years, and I split off purely because I needed to save money. I was spending so much in being a member of the company. So when I split and went to CIC, I saved myself 60 grand a year.
Wow.
So it was,
That's what some people don't make
Wow.
that in a year, Jonathan.
it's a really big number,
Wow.
and it was very nice. Honestly, like, we all know this job's really tough, and there's great days and there's bad days, and taking like that little piece of pressure off was really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Right.
good.
And so whenever I had first got in, I joined straight out of 100% commission. So I was with All City, which is a brokerage based out in Austin, and I joined them. But the deal was is that when I was with them, it was 100% commission, but no help. There was no guidance. There was no one talking to me. I didn't even know who my broker was. It was just like, hey, you sign up right here, and then you hang your license here. But whenever I had the model of the CIC 100% commission, and I noticed that Keller Williams, EXP, like John was with, and all these other brokerages, they're splitting their money. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know this before getting into the business. And it don't make sense to me that people are giving their money to their brokerage just for them to have an office. Or like, I'm just like, that don't even make sense. And so I was just lucky and blessed to be able to join 100% commission base before I even went to a Keller Williams or EXP or a real brokerage. So
Oh, that's
Hey,
awesome.
listen, it's
So you've never felt
brainwashing.
the pain. You've never felt the pain of the
I
broker
haven't felt,
taking some of your money.
yeah.
It's
Well, I
brainwashing,
had,
Rio.
yeah, right. Yeah. So I had the opportunity to talk to, well, before I even hung my license, I spoke to a lot of agents, and I spoke to why should I join Keller Williams? Why should I join this brokerage? Why should I join this brokerage? And they all told me that they split their money. And I was like, that don't make sense just to sit in the office. Yeah, I'm not doing that route. And so I had seen a 100% model, and I was like, well, if I close this deal and I get 100% of my commission, I can use this to do this with my money and try to gain some more leads. So it just made more sense to me that way.
Yeah.
Mm, that makes
And
sense.
for me, I definitely, to the point that you guys just made, I definitely came for the math, right? Like, the math has to math. And it just
Hmm.
wasn't, I couldn't make it make sense. Why am I paying, right? Because I wasn't where it was rainmaking. No one came to me because of the brand. And so I was like,
Hmm.
that didn't make sense. I think that's definitely why I came. I think more importantly for me right now, at least, is why I stay, right?
Right.
Yes, 100% model, fabulous. However, at Call It Closed, not only from an organizational perspective is it, one of the value statements to give more than you take, but I truly do feel like this organization is more invested in me, my
Right.
business, right? There's not a lot of conversation around, well, if you do X, that'd be beneficial for Call It Closed. If you do Y, it'd be beneficial for Call It Closed. It's more, Call It Closed is saying, hey, what are you trying to do? Let me help you, right? One of the reasons that it's the 100% model is so that we as agents can put more into our own marketing or our own business or client appreciation days or gifts. Like we can give back more. And so that coupled with, I had done some pricing around the additional coaching, the training, like the value, right, that we receive, the tools, it really is kind of a why would you not? It's almost like I want to like approach realtors and be like, well, why wouldn't you?
Shake them
tell
up a
me
Right.
little bit.
tell me why you wouldn't, because
Right.
there's so much upside that sometimes it probably comes across as people as a little overwhelming, but it's like why would you not be here?
Trust.
It's definitely why I stay.
I think it's the
Right.
trust, honestly.
Yeah.
And then, but what I have witnessed and what I have seen is that realtors, as us being real estate agents, we have to hustle. Like we have to go out and work. You have to go
Right.
out and get it. Now, there is some agents that do need that assistance that will give you a lead, give you this lead. And, they're okay with walking away with 60, 50% of their commission, which for us and why we are receiving these awards and why we're working as hard as we do, we don't want that. We want to work for our individuals and build our own business and work and do what we have to do in order to succeed and grow the business.
Right.
And then, also like whenever we're talking about the 100% commission model, and then we're talking about call it close. I mean, you got to think about who we're working with. We're working with Haas. We got Robbie. I mean, we got all these top tier individuals that are assisting us, that where they charge 10, 20, 30,000 just to have a conversation or speak at an event. And we're giving that with just $99 a month. Like,
Right.
that's kind of like, it's like, why? I don't understand it, but the deal is, I feel like it goes in one ear and out the other with some agents. And then it goes back to saying that they're okay with making a 60 or 50% of their own commission with leads that they're getting handed to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was thinking, I'm like, with the price of eggs, gas, and just what's going on in our society, again, it just makes sense, to have 100%, of your money. And speaking of which, I know at the award ceremony, we got two. Let me see if I can point to the boxes. Trying to point to the boxes. Tara, point to both the boxes.
Oh, let's see. Hold on. This inverted mirror thing is really
there
throwing
you
me
go.
off.
There
There
we
it
go.
is.
We got it. We got it. You
There you
guys
go.
recently got awards. So our brokerage actually, congratulated you guys for doing some amazing things. What did you get, Rio?
I got the rookie of the year, and I did over 4.5 million in sales my first year. Right, my first year in real estate.
Jeff Bezos. You reminded me what Jeff Bezos said. Obsess over the client, not the competition. Because in real estate, I mean,
100%.
do we have competition? I mean, I know overall in the grand scheme they call it competition, but do you really have competition? Like, who's going to work with Rio? They're going to work with Rio. Who's going to
Right.
vibe with Tara? They're going to work with Tara. And the way that you give the same service, buying the same home, is going to be different than the service I give. So we
Right.
really aren't in competition as agents. It behooves us to grab up what Rio does with first time, grab up what Tara does with her planning process, grab up what Jonathan does in his community to get these, higher price showings and listings and things like that. So I think it's imperative that we actually work together and really obsess over client service versus how can we be against each other, and you're trying to get my listing and you're trying to grab my buyer, and you guys are evidence with the awards that you're getting that you're doing what Jeff Bezos said, which is obsessing over the client. Because I think you got Emerald, right, Jonathan?
Yes.
And that's awesome. Like, what is Emerald?
I don't remember what the volume is, but it's over.
It's 8 million. I remember because I want that green reward.
I want that one too.
Yeah.
I didn't
One.
remember.
I had blue. I want green. It's 8 million. I went back and redid my goals for the year, Jonathan.
Listen. We're not competing against each other, okay?
No, we're not. We're collaborating. It is
That's right.
collaboration over competition. I love it.
No, I don't know. I've looked everywhere trying to figure out what the awards levels are, but it makes sense that it's 8 million. But I think he said it was either 8 million or over 250 in commission.
That's awesome. And that's evidence to us and to those who are watching out there that you guys are at a very high level in your business serving your client. And what I love is I did this mastermind series back in January where I got agents from all over the United States. I think it was about 15 of us. And we talked about like really honing in on serving our client with the best possible service. Like what skills did you get from corporate America, 9 to 5s, and just life that you could really put into your business? Because, like you guys said, this is a grind. So you've got to
Hmm.
pull in all those tricks, all those trades. If you're funny, if you're quirky, if you're, I did marketing for 10 years. So I love branded. I remember I met with this couple and I was going to show them like 5 houses and I put them on VIP badge. I say, you're my VIP client for the day.
Oh,
On the
that's
back
cute.
of my car, I put like this magnet that says home showing tours. I gave them both walkie talkies. So whoever was in the passenger seat, my husband was driving. We talked on the walkie talkie. I said, look at the blue tarp to the right and look at this to the left.
Mm,
just, I mean, just
That's
really having
cute.
fun. Real estate
Yeah.
bingo. Like, how many crazy things are we going to see on house tours? Are we going to see a broken window, rodent, unflushed toilet? I mean, we just had fun. And that's my
mhm.
vibe. So that
Yeah.
client is either going to vibe with me or they're not. I'm like, prepare to be overserved and over communicated to. If you don't want that, you don't want me to be your agent because I'm going to overserve you. I'm going to over communicate. Text me and say, hey, Sharina, I'm good. You've sent me enough houses. Hey, Sharina, I'm good. I don't need all those details because that I bring is different. Like, do you guys find that in your businesses?
Yes, I'll say this again. I mentioned in the beginning how we always had that like stereotypical view of what a real estate agent is, whether it's the attire or the conversation or being sleazy, whatever it is, whatever that stereotype is for a real estate agent. I remember reading a book and it talked about the clothes that we wear, and it was saying like whatever you're in, be professional, but be comfortable in what you're in, and people will like that. And
Mhm.
the first day I did that, I had a client walk up that I was meeting for the first time. His name's Adam. And he said, he's like, finally, I meet a real estate agent that looks like a regular person. And it was just like, I've had that
A
dumb
relief.
luck a few times where somebody on the first experience has done that. And that was validation right there to not dress trashy. I'm not wearing Led Zeppelin shirts or anything like that. No offense to Led Zeppelin, but I'm not, I don't need to be in a full suit in
Mhm.
freaking dead of summer
Yeah.
showing a house to somebody when they come wearing a wife beater.
Right.
Yeah, and I love that. And Jonathan, what I love about that is as you're walking out of the house with your buyers and another real estate agent is walking in with that suit and stuff, you're like, hey, get it, sir. Let's fist pump. Like, if he wants to wear a suit, if she wants to wear stockings in the heat in Florida, more power to you. You will not catch me in a stocking with all this heat. Like just yeah, that would have been too graphic. But, but you're not gonna catch me in stockings in the heat. So I love what you're saying about just the individuals are different. Like Rio, you talked a little bit about first time home buyers. Like, what are you doing with like first time home buyers that you feel really helps you to stand out with them as an agent?
Right. So with first time home buyers, and especially whenever I had gotten into real estate, I didn't know anything about buying a home. Like I didn't even know what was the process, how to start, or anything like that. And so I'm a younger guy, and my clientele base is, the younger side of life. I would say the younger side of life. But and so my big deal is I just love how I can guide first time home buyers into where they need to go, what needs to get done. You need to get your pre-approval. Let's go find a house and let's submit the best offer that we can to get you inside of the home. And so it was a big thing that I've learned from the very beginning. It was when you find your niche, you're going to get reach. And
Mm. Say that
so
again, Rio.
yeah, once you find your niche, you're gonna get reach like that. So whenever I found out, how I can work and how I can be different in the real estate market, like Tara works, with a whole different side of buyers, and Jonathan works with a whole different side of buyers as well, and same with you, Miss George. So everything works. But the deal is with me, like I said, you find your niche, you're gonna get reach. And whenever I did find my niche with first time home buyers and guiding first time home buyers, that's whenever I seen the most success in my business.
Yeah, so it became it didn't feel like work. It felt like you literally helping individuals, and the result of that is
Right,
income to be able to
right,
take care of your house. And one day you'll have investments and you'll have,
right.
it takes the work out of work, when you
Hmm.
really find what you love, like your clients, Tara. What's your main client base, you'd say? Right.
I would say it's really a mixture. I think what the majority of them have in common is they are drawn to me intentionally to build some sort of wealth, right? So they're either in that investor stage where it's, house number 7, 8, 9, 10, um, or they're at the beginning, but their approach, like again, also methodical, their approach is what can I get into to generate long term wealth? So,
Hmm.
working with some young professionals that are purchasing duplexes as their first time home, they intentionally want to get a duplex so that they can do the house hacking.
Hmm.
So although they're first time home buyers, they are approaching it from that long term wealth building angle. So they're looking at that, or investors that are looking at, what's the return going to be? How long do I need to hold it? So they're looking for that type of advice on what's next, again, in order to set that foundational step in building wealth.
I love that. And because you know that, I think it actually helps for the real estate agents out there watching. It helps your marketing, it helps your confidence, your comfortability, because you know, like, who your market primarily is. Not that you're willing to help anyone,
Right.
or any age of any, but you kind of know, where you thrive and what you like to do. For me, I love the listing of the property. I love the whole stage of talking with the seller and letting them know, hey, my husband has been in renovation work for 20 plus years. This is what we need to do to your home to get it ready for sale. The homeowner listened, had the entire home painted. They had the backsplash redone. They had the driveway power washed. They decluttered any images of themselves. They put them away.
Yeah.
Anything that might have been of a religious sort or anything, you put that away so that as people walk through your home, they'll be able to really imagine themselves in it. And not a lot of real estate agents are taking that proactive approach with the listing. And so they're like, Sharina, no one has really ever told us all of these things. And I'm like, yeah, you want to declutter and depersonalize. You have stuff everywhere
Hmm.
in here. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to over communicate. If you're not comfortable with that, you don't want me to list your home, because unfortunately, I can't list it like this. Like, I can't imagine buyers and stuff coming in there seeing stuff everywhere, or, things are not clean and things are not, because I've taken my buyers, I won't give no addresses, names, phone numbers, or anything. I'm taking my buyer to a home, and there was like cat litter, and there were smells and different things were going on in the home that was just not acceptable for a home that will be on the market. So
Yeah.
when we, as professional real estate agents, not that all sellers are going to listen, but as real estate agents, really guiding them. And then for me, I know everyone is not going to do this, putting those gloves on and helping to get your
Right,
home ready if needed. Getting a lawnmower if needed is what I'll do, kind of going above and beyond, because we're trying to put your house, saying, hey, world, this home is
Right.
for sale. I have
Yep.
to tell everyone on the planet your home is for sale, but they can't come see it because it's cluttered. They can't come, the driveway's not trimmed. And so I think that that's an area where I definitely, as the months are going on, I'm definitely looking forward to more, more listings in that space. I love what you were talking about, Jonathan, when we were on our what is it, our post show with just us about friendships and things.
I'll ask the question. So I was listening
Okay.
to a video recently, and this job, I think you guys will probably find it to be true as well. If you haven't already, maybe you will soon, is that our profession is a tad lonely.
Hmm.
When even though we're working with people all the time, uh, running a business is a lonely thing to do. You are solo, and everything is dependent on you. That's why, having that hustle that you were mentioning is so important. So, the question I had posed was something I had heard recently: was what is your opinion of what a true friend is? So, I was curious what everyone's opinion was on that. Like, what would you say a true friend is? And I'll share mine.
I can say one thing about a true friend. As far as like with my friend, like he knows that I work. He knows that I need to hustle. He knows that I'm not going to be able to go to the family events. Well, he's my cousin, but he's my friend too.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah.
He know,
Cousin
yeah,
friend.
cousin friend, yeah, and we grew up together. But he knows that I got to do my thing, in order to provide and do stuff. I guess like for the family, pay for this, pay for that. And so for him, to call me every once in a while, hey Rio, how's it going? Is everything good? He calls and checks on me. Same with me. I call and check on him, and I feel like that's the definition of a true friend, not someone that you see every single day.
Yeah, I would agree.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I would too. I think it's the people, one, that are going to give it to you straight. They care enough to keep you grounded, and
Hmm.
they care enough to give it to you straight. And then also someone that is supporting, even if they're supporting from afar, but someone that when you do reach out, they're there. They can listen.
Hmm.
And then, if you need to be pushed off the edge, they're going to push you. If you need to be pulled back, they're going to pull you back. But to the point that you mentioned, Rio, like it's not, you don't necessarily talk to them every single day. But interestingly, every time you do talk, it's like you just talked.
Yeah, like
Um,
yesterday.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, I
yeah.
love that. And I think for me, over the years, I'm 41 now, and my friendship kind of
Whoa.
definition has changed from, yeah, I know, with 6 kids and 7 grandkids.
I'm
I
kidding.
started early.
I'm 38. We're close.
Oh, you have small babies, small babies. They're so cute. We saw the babies on the post show, you guys. They're just the cutest little ones. But just thinking about the friend from there to here, I think it's a person who, for me, a little older, who genuinely wants to see you win. I mean, just they just want to see you win. Like when I met Tara, for example, she's a new friend who I'm getting closer to over time. And when I met Tara, when we got on the phone, my first phone conversation, in the video I'm listening to the words that you say, trying to see if you're comparing yourself to me, trying to
Oh,
see if you're gloating about accolades, if you're trying to appear special, because like a friendship, I mean, you
Right.
really don't care. Like you could see a person without
yeah,
makeup. And so I
yeah.
Right.
want to know that you genuinely want to see me win. There's no self-sabotage going on back there. You aren't talking to me like this and then saying, hey, let me tell you about Sharina business. She's this and that. Do you genuinely want to see me win? Like I want
Hmm.
to see you win, Rio. I want to see
Hmm.
you win, Jonathan. I want to see you thrive in the best way possible in your business, in life, in your marriage. So if you call me and say you going through, we listen but we don't judge. Like
Ah, nice statement.
I need a we listen but we don't judge type of friend. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, I need to cry and talk for like 5 minutes. Can you please listen to me? Because they want to see me win. They're gonna listen. And like you said, Tara, sometimes they're gonna give you that hard communication. Sometimes they're gonna give you that soft love and hard love later because you were just crying. But I
Right.
just I just want to know that a person, gee, I didn't have people backbite and people talk about me behind my back, and you
Yeah.
think they're for you and you're like, that person said what. But I just want people in my corner, different professions, different
Mhm.
nationalities, different genders that just want to see me win.
I'm glad I
Yeah.
passed the test.
You did. She did. Tara did not. Yeah, that's very important to me that a person is not gloaty about their accomplishments and kind of overly into
Mhm.
themselves. Because is there room for friendship when you're all into you? you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Good
So for
point.
me, I don't feel a door open if I'm on the phone. I'm like, hey, Rio, so you crushing it in Texas? You like, yeah, Sharina, you talked to me about your accomplishment for 5 minutes straight. I'm like, oh, that is so good for you, Rio. You have your blessed day.
Yeah.
You have a blessed day. I'm like, he just talked about himself for 10 minutes.
That's
Listen,
funny.
so like this
Humility.
whole yeah, this whole question, like I thought it was kind of interesting because some of it was like someone you can count on if times are tough. But I love what you're saying, Sharina, because I think we don't always think about the positive stuff too. But being able to have someone to call when something exciting does happen, maybe obviously we're not calling Sharina to talk about ourselves for 5 minutes because we'll get in trouble. But again, we listen, don't judge on the good stuff too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but no, it's someone that you can count on, but also that you can call when something exciting happens and
Mhm.
tell them about it, and they don't feel like you're gloating. Like they're
Yeah.
just happy for you. So
Mhm.
like the award I got, some people may see it as trivial. It was the plugged in award because I've been participating on the Zoom calls and
Yeah.
encouraging trainings and things like that with the company. And I was like, this sounds kind of cheesy, made up, but it's like, you know what? I'll be damned if that's not cool though. Like, I
Yeah.
don't
Right.
That
care.
is
It was
cool.
fun and it's exciting. And I wanted to call and tell people. And I
Yeah.
had only a couple people that I called to tell that I was excited about it. And I thought it was really a nice surprise. But I get what you're saying. You don't want to get to that gloaty point, but it's cool when you have those people that you can call those true friends that they're with you if you're winning and they're with you if you're losing, and either way they're in your
Yeah.
corner. So
I
Right.
agree.
listen, for all
Right.
y'all on here, whatever accolades you ever get, call me anytime. You can tell me I'm pumped. Rio, when you got rookie of the year, I was jazzed for you, man.
Yes.
Same.
I thought that was so
Absolutely.
awesome.
Same.
It was
Thank
Yes.
And
you.
I
that
love
made
Thank you.
me so freaking happy.
Yep.
And I love stuff
Thank
like,
you.
and that's a good perspective that you bring up, Jonathan. You know, being able to call when you are genuinely happy and excited. It's kind of sad that you don't have more numbers in the phone, you know, that you can call when something exciting happens. So I love that. I just, for me, when I first meet a person, I'm always looking at the introduction of oneself, or just kind of, I feel like I've been, let me word this correctly because we are on live. I've become
Hey,
strong. I've
we're
become
listening.
I've become stronger and more of who I am through the things I've suffered than the things I've accomplished. Like,
Oh,
so that kind of thing. So like man, Tara, you know, those first 6 months of real estate, man, it was
yeah.
difficult, but you know, hung in there, man. By month 8, ugh, I was thinking about giving up, but you know, I got that sale and it was encouraging. Oh, didn't get a closing for a couple months. So to basically have that balance of like, here's my success, but then rooted in reality that I am made up of a combination of my failures and my success. And my failures have taught me so much that aid in my success that I'd almost rather gloat in my failure than I would in my success, because it really did. It was like a bounce act. It was like, Tara, at month 8, I was crying, I was lonely, I didn't have a sale, I didn't have a listing. But by month 10, I was empowered, I was encouraged, I was like, there's a bounce back, like from that, that's made me stronger in real estate. Because I think every agent, as we, you know, close up our 5 minutes, I think every agent hits this wall, and you guys could tell us like about your wall in whatever way you want to, but you hit this wall of like, am I going to continue with this, or am
Mhm.
I going to, like, because you just gotta be okay with the rando kind of pay. Is the client, are all 5 of my clients gonna fall off? Because I've been working with 5 people. This offer didn't get accepted. This particular person loses their job, they're no longer qualified. This particular listing wants to take it off the market, got family issue. That, like, all 5 of the business that you were seeing commission for is just no longer in your hand. And you're like, what happened? Does anybody ever hit like that wall where you had to press through and, like, I don't want to say become somebody else, but like this superhero, like powerful realtor type, like push through type of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Perseverance.
perseverance,
Yeah.
right? In this field, that is like, you've got to have
Yes.
perseverance. You've got to have grit. I remember when I was first in real estate, there was one day, and I'll never forget it. And I think it's because I calculate, like to this day, I don't calculate my commission until like the morning I'm walking into the title company, right? Because I gotta check the math. But I still believe it's because I calculated my commission early. But I had a seller that was selling close to $1 million, and what they were going to be buying was definitely $1 million. And I was super jazzed. And their house was going through inspection, and the house that they were getting, they didn't necessarily have to wait for theirs to close or anything. So it definitely was, I was like, oh, look, mama, I made it. And their house was being inspected, and their buyer wanted them to install some technology stuff, and they worked in tech, and they were like, that's absurd, we're not going to do it. And so they backed out of that deal, and therefore they weren't moving. And I was like, say what now? Like, what do I do? And I think you have to have perseverance to get up that next day, right? And not like run over there screaming in the middle of the night, what are y'all doing? But
Yeah.
it also took, when you talk about like the failing, like it's failing forward, right? So it's like, okay, well, what do you got to do? Well, for one, you need to put a plan in place so that every day you're not surprised by what's gonna happen today. Like it's great to be surprised by the miracles of the day, but there should be some sort of plan for the day, right? Because there's so much that happens in this business that you can't plan. There's so much that happens that's outside of your control. So it really is about looking at your business and figuring out, who do you want to be? Do you want to be in all of the roles of your business until you're 85? Like, if that's what you want, that's what you want. But kind of like with Jeff Bezos, right? Like one day he was the one that was finding the book and getting the book and posting the book and selling the book and taking the book to the post office to be mailed. Now he's probably not in the transaction at all. I'm sure he has a Prime account. He probably didn't pay for it. But so it's figuring out in your business, like, where do you want to be? And that's how you start to evolve out of some of those roles that are in your small business. But you got to have perseverance and grit just to make it from day to day.
Perseverance and grit. Can we do the perseverance and grit face?
Oh,
Like what's that
Oh.
face?
oh.
Jonathan is like,
Well,
I'm not.
I guess it's the same as constipation.
Wow, so that's
Jonathan,
a
like, this
record.
is
That's a
too
recorded
difficult.
face now.
What about you, Jonathan? Did you hit
Yeah.
that place of like decision of like, I'm gonna do real estate, even though it's hard right now?
So I mean, I haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't ever had a point where I was like, I think I need to look into something else, or I like maybe this isn't for me. I haven't had that. But I will say, like, even when I went to Reach 2 weeks ago, I about 3 weeks ago was extremely burnt out. Like I was done. I was so tired, exhausted from clients. And mostly what it was is, like I mentioned, this job being lonely because we're entrepreneurs, like we run our own businesses, that like it never stops. Our mind never stops running about our business. If it's not thinking, oh, I got to make sure I do this tomorrow, it's, I wonder if this would work well for our business. And
Right.
we have so many things that are done with delayed gratification. And like, I think the perseverance and the grit is incredibly important. And also like knowing that nobody else is doing your job. Like it doesn't matter what's going on. You can have, I mean, one of the agents on my team, his wife had a baby premature the other day, and I am sad for him that he did it, but he wrote an offer while he was in the hospital for a client. And I mean, listen, kudos. He's got a baby that's going to be okay over time. And he got the new construction, but to not have that ability to detach, like, so I can't remember who was mentioning it earlier, but like that, like having that 9 to 5 job is actually like, even though it's a prison sentence, it's also sort of a nice prison sentence, because you know that at 5 o'clock your brain can shut off from work and you can be done until tomorrow at 9. But this job is tough because your mind is constantly on it, no matter what. When I finish this, I'm not going to walk away and think, okay, now I'm gonna go watch the Princess Diaries. Like I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna think about like what am I doing tomorrow, or what that was
Right.
great. Like, how do I use this for my business? Like it's everything in our jobs, because we're all like high level people, is how do we use this to create opportunity? And it's an exhausting thing. So I haven't wanted to dip out on the job, but I have wanted to tell it some choice words before. So maybe I'll say that, and I won't use all the words, but the letters don't come too far down in the alphabet.
Got
Almost like
it. Got it. I love that descriptor. What about you, Rio?
So I guess you could say from the very beginning, whenever I got my real estate license, I was in school and I was driving trucks. So I was a CDL driver. I drove trucks for a little bit. And so whenever I was getting into real estate, it was kind of one of those points, especially being a truck driver. It's like you either got to do trucking or you got to do real estate. You can't do both. And I remember when I was driving trucks, I was over the road calling clients on the phone, and then I would stop at like a McDonald's or a Starbucks and stop at use their Wi-Fi to try to write up an offer because I wanted to do real estate as bad. I wanted to do real estate as bad as I could breathe. And so
Yeah.
whenever I did that, it was like, okay, I got about $4,000 saved, and that's going to cover my next 2 months of rent, and then that's going to cover a little bit of money for like to eat, and then pay some other bills and stuff. And so what I did is when I saved that money, I quit my trucking job and I went full force with real estate. And whenever I did full force with real estate, it was like there's no option to not make a deal. It was like
burn
I
your
have to
boat.
make
Right.
yeah, I was like, I have to make a deal. And there was no questions. And the kind of like what you were saying about like, you have like five people and then this person backs out. It was like this person can't do this because of the family issues. Well, it was like you guys don't have a choice. If you guys want to buy a home, y'all are buying a home. You know, and that was my thought. That was my thought. It was like I needed to freaking eat. It's either what they call it, sink or swim. It was sink or swim at that point. And so, and I'm not forcing nobody to do anything, but you came to me because you had a problem, and the solution is to get you into a home, and so that's what I did, and it
Quickly.
was like, yeah, quick, yeah,
So Rio, so you took your shirt like this and you was like, solution has showed up.
yeah. I was like, I'm
Turn
here,
the lights.
yeah. I was like, but obviously, like if they, if something came back on during the option period with inspection or something like that, we're backing out, 100%.
Right.
If so don't want to
Yeah.
get that negotiated. But yeah, so it was more or less like it was like it's full force. This is real estate. This is what Rio is doing. No other options. Rio's doing this, and Rio's going to be successful at it. And there was no other choice. And then that was when I guess you could see now I got Rookie of the Year. So I guess I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
Dude, Rio, I can't listen.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry,
love
bro.
it.
Like I can't say it enough, man. Like it is so awesome seeing you do things. Like like I know it's weird, but like I am a huge fan of yours. Okay,
Thank you.
in like
Yeah.
the best way,
Yeah.
because I love when people that are good do good things and good things
Mhm.
happen to them.
Yeah.
Right.
So I am
Yeah.
thrilled. Anytime I see something successful on your page, whenever you post something, which you do constantly, I already know you do 5 stories a day, one reel a day. I know your, I
Yeah,
know your,
yeah,
I know your, I know your system.
yeah. Yeah.
It always makes me very happy to see it. And I look, it doesn't matter if you're in the business for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, however many years Sharina's been in it. Like we're all in this to like learn from each other. And I mean, Tara, the collaborative agent, like
Mhm.
that is it. Like
Hey.
collaboration and cheering people on, because we're not competing with
Right.
each
Yeah.
other. The only person we're competing with is ourselves.
Right.
So
Right.
I
And then
applaud you, man.
thank you, John. And then, hey, and
Yeah.
another thing too, kind of going back to the second to last thing that we were speaking about with friends, and how we were talking about good friends, and then you do have bad friends that you do need to cut away and cut ties with, because that is going to stop you from
That's
growing your
true.
business and growing your income. And so, me, what I had to do is that I love my friends. I love the people that I surround myself with, but there's a time and then there's a place. But every day you cannot be hanging around individuals that aren't on the same mission as you. And so whenever I started doing
Right.
that, and so I put everything in perspectives about what I do as far as my work, my schedule, my time block. I put everything in perspective. And if it don't make sense, I'm not going to do it. If it does make sense, Rio's going full force at it. 100%.
I love that. This is
Yeah,
awesome, you guys. And I love
me
how
too.
all of us have an opportunity to kind of paint what that future looks like. So we're not 86 working this business. We can put things in
Right.
place and teams in place. And I'm getting a broker's license. And, we can
Hmm.
put things in place to be able to really secure ourselves, learn, teach the next generation, and allow that new blood and new individuals who are coming after us to really continue this on and really have that succession plan and what we plan to do next. We have that opportunity with wisdom, guidance,
Hmm.
and our brokers are amazing. I mean, if we need to
Right.
ask Chad or Prilly anything, they are just amazing. But I want to thank you guys who tuned in. Thank you for the comments out there, you guys. Thank you to Rio and Jonathan. Rio, let our viewers know what area you cover and how they can get in contact with you if they want you to be their agent.
Yeah, so I cover DFW, and to be honest, I cover all the way up to Denton. But Dallas Fort Worth is like my main areas. And the way to get in contact me, you can either reach out my cell phone, it's 214-715-2913, or follow me on Instagram, which is 2flyrio. It's the number 2, not TWO. It's 2flyrio. And I've never changed my Instagram name. That's been my Instagram name since I made Instagram. And
Wow.
I'm not planning on changing it anytime soon because that makes me the unique agent.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. And when we get off, you guys, Rio's going to come here and definitely put that information in the comments too, because he definitely wants to get in contact with you if you're
Mhm.
looking to buy or sell in his area. What about you, Jonathan?
So I'm not going to follow suit with you on the Instagram name. My when I was growing up, my aim name for chat was a little big D. So I'm not.
And for some reason, I can believe that was Jonathan's name for
Listen,
sure.
just not for any of
John
the
has the
reasons
most.
getting with you. Listen, it has
I'm
nothing to do with any of the things
screaming.
y'all are thinking. I was the littlest, like smallest, but also the tallest dean in my family. Okay, so it's nothing perverse, but I do have 7 kids. But anyway, so I cover Charlotte and the surrounding area, so even into South Carolina, and you can follow me on Instagram as well. Mine's super cool. I'll post things about my kids and my chickens every once in a while too, but it's the THE_Carolina's realtor. So I am covering both states, and I'm happy to help out. My number is 980-505-5641. I answer always.
I
Always.
love it. I love it. And I'm going to go next because Tara, I'm going to let you go and then close us out. All right. So for me, you guys, I'm
Okay.
covering anywhere from Orlando to Tampa, everything in the middle. So all of Central Florida. So that's Lake Wells, Winter Haven, Davenport, all the way over to Sebring, Lake Placid, Okeechobee. So between Orlando and Tampa, that span in there, I cover. My phone number is 750. Let me get it. 407-750-3959. On Instagram, I'm Sharina George, just basic Sharina George, FL Realtor, Florida Realtor. And my husband and I are looking to get into development. So if you're looking to get a new construction home, my husband and I are looking through everything we need to with our development company. We have an established company, but we're actually starting to get into the development of homes ourselves so that we can ultimately become like a DR Horton in the small
Wow,
space.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
small,
awesome.
tinier luxury homes is what
Hey.
our goal is to get into, tiny luxury living. So,
That's
Listen,
awesome.
Sharina, man, I'm so bummed out.
Wow.
Listen, I'm from Melbourne, Florida,
mhm.
and my sister is looking in Sanford right now. So
Sanford, I'm
I'm
familiar with Sanford.
I'm gonna try and get her to drop her agent.
Okay.
I'll do what I can.
We're going to
As
do
long
all of this ethically, everyone.
no. Oh wait, this is record. Yeah, 100%.
We're going to do that. You guys are awesome.
Oh,
So what I'm gonna
screaming.
do is Tara's gonna drop her information and then she's gonna give us our, our words for the show.
All right. Well, I typically am focused in the North Dallas suburbs area. So all of North Texas, and then also focused in some investment opportunities in Dallas County. And my number is 469-222-6018. And on all the socials, I am the collaborative agent. So, of course, it's the collaborative agent team. And again, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you again for our guests, Rio and Jonathan. As you guys know, we are real agents closing real deals, working with real clients. So thank you guys for your time, and we will see you next time again on the second or the fourth Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m.
All right,
Central.
let's go out with a jig,
Bye.
everybody.
All right, you guys have a good
Out with
day.
a jig. Out with a jig. Rio, I don't see your jig, Rio and Jonathan.
We gotta get
I
the
know
music
we need some
going so that
music
at
to
least
help
we'll all
us.
be
We're gonna have
moving
some
the
music
same.
the other couple weeks.
This is where I lose